Are you ready for a journey to discover the true power within yourself? Welcome to Inspire Reads, where we not only learn, but also transform through valuable books. Hi, I'm Zoe. Don't forget to follow the great books in the description. Today, we will explore a book by Louise Hay, a person celebrated worldwide as a sage. This book is for you, those struggling to find a way out of suffering, pressure, and self-denial. Let's overcome and rediscover strength from deep within together. Miracles are always present in your life. Join me in exploring the extraordinary life of Louise Hay, an exceptional woman, and embrace the valuable lessons to unlock your inner strength, thereby transforming your entire life. Louise Hay, a woman who endured life's most brutal trials that not everyone can imagine. At only a year and a half old, she witnessed her parents' divorce and was swept into a dark life when her mother remarried. Her cruel stepfather frequently abused her from a young age, and the situation became even more dire when the Great Depression of 1930 plunged the family into poverty. However, the most horrifying event occurred when a drunk neighbor raped her at the age of 5. Although justice was served and the perpetrator was punished, darkness and fear clung to her throughout her childhood, surrounded by pain, mental torment, physical abuse, and the utter misery of poverty. At the age of 15, she dropped out of school and left home to escape the unbearable harassment and abuse. She began working as a waitress in a small diner where her longing for love led her to easily give herself to others. By the time she turned 16, she had a child that had to give it up due to her inability to care for it. Louise wandered from place to place, eventually becoming a model and marrying a distinguished Englishman, believing that marriage would save her life. However, the 14-year marriage ended when her husband cheated on her, leaving her in a shock that nearly broke her. Despite this, she refused to let herself fall, determined to learn about psychological recovery. Within just 3 years, she became a psychologist, wrote books, and helped many people, establishing herself as an expert in the field. Life seemed to have returned to its course, but a year later, a devastating blow struck. She was diagnosed with cervical cancer, a condition considered incurable at the time. She fell into despair and pain, feeling as though misfortune would never release its grip on her. However, she came to understand the deep-seated reasons that had trapped her in this cycle, and from there, she found a way to rise above it. Louise decided to embark on a journey of self-healing, but surprisingly, she did not opt for treatment through surgery or seek out a skilled doctor. Instead, she focused on psychological healing and body detoxification. 6 months later, a true miracle occurred during a follow-up examination. The doctor confirmed that all cancer cells had completely disappeared. Louise became a renowned healing teacher, author, and international speaker, living to the age of 91 and pioneering the concept of holistic health. She founded the self-help movement and helped millions change their mental state and health, improving their quality of life. This miracle did not require grand magical powers, but rather simple actions that anyone can take. The secret is revealed in Louise Hay's famous book, You Can Heal Your Life, Vietnamese title, Halnio. The book has been translated into 42 languages, published in 132 countries, and topped the New York Times bestseller list for 50 weeks. Explore the power of inner healing and transform your destiny with this book. When your life is still overshadowed by anxiety, illness, fear, stress, suffering, and self-denial, it indicates that you have yet to explore and fulfill your core life mission, self-love. While this mission may sound simple and familiar, the reality is that many people still struggle to achieve it. Join Louise Hay in discovering how to truly love yourself, harness your inner power, and overcome all challenges. This book will help you heal psychologically and physically, paving the way for a remarkable transformation in your life. The experiences you encounter in life are not random. They reflect your own thoughts and words. Louise Hay emphasizes two important points at the beginning of her book. First, our life experiences are created by our own thoughts and words. Second, how we perceive ourselves is how we will become. This illustrates that what you are going through is a result of your beliefs and thoughts. Recalling Louise Hay's heartbreaking story, she was once a victim of an alcoholic. Despite being innocent, she frequently heard blame from others, leading her to question whether she had truly done something wrong. These negative thoughts deeply ingrained in her subconscious, increasing her fear that the attacker would seek revenge after being released from prison, as she had provided the evidence to convict him. When Louise was in school, the difference between her and her classmates felt like an open wound. While her peers came from middle or upper-class families and dressed neatly, Louise felt out of place with her worn clothes and unpleasant odor.
That was when she began to feel self-conscious and inferior.
Once, during a school party, where she had the chance to try cake for the first time, she stood by, watching her classmates excitedly receive their cakes. When her turn came, the cake was all gone. She didn't dare to claim her share or speak up about not getting any, silently enduring with self-denial. As she grew up, Louise became a woman who did not know how to love herself. The relationships she had were with unworthy men, either womanizers or abusers, similar to her stepfather. Even a small kindness from someone would make her fall deeply in love, have abortions, and bear children for them without valuing herself. Even after marrying a kind businessman, her actions and thoughts were still overshadowed by her insecurity. It was only when she was diagnosed with cancer that Louise fully awakened. She realized that the disease was a consequence of the deep-seated self-hatred she had carried for years from her abandonment by her father, her unhappy childhood with her mother, the brutality of her stepfather, to her subsequent failed relationships. She understood that it wasn't others or her misfortunes that caused her marriage to fall apart and illness to strike, but that she had created her own suffering through resentment, blame, and feelings of unworthiness. This is a truth we need to accept and face directly. Our illnesses are a result of our own making. Dr. Jamate's book, The Body Will Say No for You, reveals through his extensive research that suppressing thoughts and emotions, being unable to say no to others, and failing to recognize anger can lead to enormous psychological stress. Unexpressed true feelings disrupt physiological balance and the immune system, increasing the risk of illness. Similarly, Dr. Michael Singer, in his book The Untethered Soul, asserts that negative thoughts and moods act like toxic streams, blocking the flow of energy in the body and leading to illness over time. From science to psychology and spiritual awakening, all emphasize that body and mind are a unified whole. If your body is showing signs of illness or health issues, it is the right time to reflect on yourself. In her psychological counseling work, Louise Hay witnessed thousands of people facing a wide range of issues. Some struggled with health problems like insomnia and chronic headaches. Others had difficulties in relationships, feeling constantly criticized and pressured by those around them. Some worried about finances, unable to manage expenses or save money. And there were those who felt their lives lacked direction, with opportunities always eluding them and their efforts consistently failing. However, she observed that these outward problems were merely signs of a deeper underlying cause. For example, many people fail to lose weight not because their bodies don't respond, but because they use eating as a way to cope with fear and anxiety. They fail to realize that uncontrolled eating is actually a way to protect and soothe themselves against feelings of insecurity and inadequacy. To change our lives, we need to bravely face these deeper causes, not just the external symptoms. Louise points out that our bodies and lives are often significantly affected by 4 negative habits: resentment, blame, fear, and guilt. When resentment accumulates over time, it can erode the body and increase the risk of cancer. Frequent blaming and criticizing others can lead to joint problems, especially in the fingers and wrists, as these issues reflect our level of acceptance of change and flexibility in life. Fear, on the other hand, can easily cause hair loss and gastritis. Hair loss is directly related to mental stress, as stress tightens the scalp, blocking hair follicles and preventing new hair growth. Gastritis is often a result of prolonged anxiety, stemming from feelings of inadequacy or fear of exposing one's weaknesses. These fears disrupt the digestive system, leading to stomach ulcers. Negative thoughts and feelings of guilt can cause deep inhibition, damaging both your physical and mental health. Many people experience persistent coughs without finding a cause, which not only indicates a health issue, but also reflects limitations in life. The throat, which represents the ability to voice and assert oneself, can become inflamed when you feel powerless or unable to fulfill your deep desires, leading to a hoarse voice and difficulty expressing yourself. The throat is also connected to creativity and the experience of freedom. When these areas are suppressed, discomfort arises. Many people spend their lives trying to please others, from parents to bosses, without the chance to pursue what they truly want. This often leads to tonsillitis and profound feelings of guilt. Feelings of guilt also stem from not knowing how to bring true joy to oneself, instead immersing in superficial pleasures. This makes the heart, representing love, become cold, and the blood, symbolizing joy, flow sluggishly, leading to anemia, angina, and cardiovascular issues. To address this situation, you need to confront the deep-seated negative emotions within you. Ask yourself if you are carrying wounds from childhood, family conflicts, or unrealistic expectations from others. Dissatisfaction with yourself, financial anxiety, job stress, and fear of loss can also be obstructing your well-being. Addressing these fears and feelings of guilt will help you find true peace and health. The author conveys an important message. Loving oneself is the only way to heal and renew one's life, regardless of the problems you face. This is the fundamental task that everyone needs to undertake in their lifetime. Discover how to love yourself properly to create positive changes in your life. Loving yourself is not just about making yourself happy or fulfilling all personal needs. Many people mistakenly believe that loving yourself means avoiding all negative things, seeking only positive experiences, or indulging in unhealthy habits. Some even think that loving yourself equates to achieving perfection and grand accomplishments. However, true self-love actually involves accepting and handling negative emotions in a healthy way. Louise points out that self-love begins with recognizing resistance to change and learning how to let it go. You might find yourself procrastinating on positive habits like going to bed early, waking up early, exercising regularly, eating healthily, learning new skills, or reading daily. States like laziness, procrastination, low self-esteem, dependence on others, or weak willpower are manifestations of this resistance. Deep within you might be unmet psychological needs such as the desire for love, success, power, safety, or recognition from others. The secret of universal law is that the more you yearn for these things, the more you are likely to fall into anxiety, fear of loss, disappointment, low self-esteem, and dissatisfaction with yourself. This leads to other problems like overweight, illness, addiction, and unsatisfactory relationships. The more you dwell in these states, the harder it is to change. Recognizing and understanding the resistance within yourself is the first step toward building a rich, fulfilling, and loving life. The author emphasizes that to understand inner resistance, you need to consider three main aspects. First, resistance often manifests through your daily behaviors, such as procrastination and choosing easier tasks when faced with challenges. Second, it also shows up in your words, frequently denying by saying, "I don't have time," "This environment isn't right for me," "It's their fault," or "I can't do it." Finally, resistance can appear in your thoughts, with thoughts like, "Why am I so old, ugly, overweight, skinny, short," or even, "I'm too good." Self-deprecating thoughts or attitudes that either elevate oneself or criticize others are also expressions of an insecure ego. These are crucial steps to start your journey towards living with a self that truly loves itself. Next, a person who loves themselves lives in the present. Thich Nhat Hanh, a master of meditation and mindfulness, dedicated his life to emphasizing that the past is gone and the future has not yet arrived. The only thing we truly have is the present. Indeed, most people, however, tend to be stuck in the past. If you are bound by what has already happened, even if you recognize the negative resistance behaviors within you, it is very difficult to sustain positive change. Therefore, the next step to truly recreate your destiny is to free yourself from the past. Don't let the past hinder your path to fully living in the present, as it will only cause you continuous suffering. Liz realizes that the best way to free yourself from the past is forgiveness. Forgiving others is also forgiving yourself. Letting go of resentment and blame through forgiveness is indeed a crucial step in the healing and recreation of life. Why? The author says that all relationships with others are mirrors reflecting yourself. Psychology indicates that projection is an unconscious defense mechanism where your subconscious vibrations, desires, and thoughts are projected onto the external world without your awareness. Before you recognize and correct what your subconscious is projecting, what you receive is the most primitive reflection of yourself that you have projected outward. For example, when a relationship ends, if you find the other person unreasonable, you are projecting your own anger. If you think the other person is difficult, you are projecting your own tolerance. Ultimately, how the other person truly is merely your speculation, but in that projection, you have projected a full image of yourself, resentment or forgiveness, blame or tolerance. Your judgments of others reflect your own nature. If someone criticizes and is never satisfied with you, you might look deeply into your own soul to see if you also have a tendency to criticize others and be difficult to please. Achieving the perspective of the third eye, a higher and more impartial view, is the key to breaking free from the victim mentality. You will be able to view things with objectivity, making it easier to let go of personal wounds and limitations. Forgiving others means being compassionate toward yourself. The relationships around you reflect yourself. How you treat yourself shapes how others treat you. If you often feel insecure and sensitive, you may be more susceptible to oppression and bullying. If you ignore your own needs, you may be abandoned. Conversely, when you love yourself, you will attract loving and positive relationships. How you handle your thoughts and actions not only creates energy and belief, but also shapes your destiny. According to psychologists, the subconscious controls your life, but you can recognize that it is indeed the destiny you have created for yourself. Finally, the most important step to completely change your destiny is to alter the deeply ingrained thought patterns in your subconscious. The only way to achieve this is through self-affirmation. Declare strongly to yourself, "I am sovereign. I am free. I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. I am wonderful and deserving of all the best things in life. I am the love in my own life. Everything is fitting, perfect, and complete. Trust in the immense invisible power flowing through every moment in your body. Open your heart to wisdom, understanding that there is only one intelligence in this world containing all the answers, solutions, methods of recovery, and new creations. By believing in that power and wisdom, you will find that everything you need will be revealed at the right time, in the right place, and in the right order. In your world, everything is good, and true joy will come to you. Affirming yourself daily with powerful and energetic statements will create significant changes in your life. When your subconscious believes that good things are happening, the external world will begin to manifest these positive thoughts. To live a happy life, you need to nurture happy thoughts. To achieve prosperity, cultivate thoughts of abundance in your mind. And to be filled with love, let thoughts of love dominate your life. True prosperity is not a destination, but a state of mind. It is a wonderful sense of self and the freedom to decide your life in the way you want. Prosperity is not measured by the money you have, but by how you feel and live with confidence. Wealth or poverty are merely outward manifestations of your thoughts. To change the world around you, you must first change from within, from how you think to how you express yourself. External change only occurs when you have affirmed and accepted yourself in the present. When you truly love yourself, life becomes smoother than ever. Louise emphasizes that merely thinking these affirmations in your mind is not enough. You need to express them openly. Say aloud to yourself, "I am love," instead of just wishing to be loved. Affirm, "I am abundance, prosperity," instead of merely desiring wealth. Don't just say, "I want to make a lot of money," or "I want to be healed." Assert that you already have all these things right now. When you frequently state that you want or need something, you are reinforcing a negative belief in your subconscious, reaffirming your sense of lack and suffering. These desires and cravings reflect a deficiency in your life, and this deficiency makes you feel inadequate. This leads to resistance to change, continued feelings of anger, blame, and resentment. As a result, the external world mirrors these similar experiences back to you. When the author received a cancer diagnosis, a profound shock awakened her from the subconscious manipulation, completely changing her mindset and psychology. Through powerful affirmations, she overcame the brink of death and continued to align with her own healing energy flow. She learned to observe herself honestly. Listen to her body to reflect on her soul. Let go of resistance to change. Stop procrastinating and complaining, and cease self-denial. Consequently, she removed all hatred, freed herself from the past, reconnecting with loved ones and no longer blaming anyone. Instead, she learned to forgive and be grateful for everything that had happened. She created a miraculous transformation, cleansing her body and soul, eliminating all ailments, and becoming a healer for millions. Her life is now filled with joy, prosperity, and happiness. The secret to this transformation is the genuine ability to love oneself. Take a moment to consider this. Loving yourself begins with ending self-denial and criticizing others. The problems you are facing are not random. They reflect long-standing psychological patterns within you. For true change, you need to let go of all resistance and forgive yourself and others. Only when you truly understand and practice this can you find real freedom and happiness. Stop blaming others and take responsibility for yourself right now. The past no longer matters. Pain does not define you. Begin to change in this very moment and live fully in the present. The power to control your life is always in your hands, as long as you recognize your inner strength. Remember yourself as someone who knows how to love. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, I love you. I truly love you. Be ready to undertake the most important mission of your life, loving yourself. This is the key to recreating your destiny and making positive changes for yourself. I send you my sincere love and thank you for taking the time to listen. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos each week. Once again, thank you and see you in the next videos.